Hello, everybody, and welcome to the third episode of Rapid Reviews Radio. I am your host, Kiley Wild, and I am with my co-host, Pete Beckett.
Hello.
How are you feeling? Yeah, I know you had a little bit of the convention flu, so...
It's taken hold big time this week, so I might sound a little bit raspy, but I'm powering through for you.
Yeah. So we'll try and keep it short and sweet.
Sure. I'm still recovering big time from that the dirty controllers I had to touch every day.
Oh, thanks for that image.
Yeah, note to self, I'm gonna make sure that I take some hand sanitizer with me next year.
That's actually a good idea.
I don't know why I didn't this year. I should have done. I was thinking about it before I even went.
Yeah. See, that's actually good, a kind of convention kit to take with you on the next one, or on the next one we're at, because hopefully we'll be doing a live show at our future.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Let me talk to the people at EGX to see if we can get on the show at Reds.
That would be awesome. Amazing. Well, okay, moving on so that you don't have to hurt yourself too much.
And so that we don't have to so you don't have to listen to me moaning about my terrible man flu.
Yeah, but I mean, at least like, what is it like? If you get a cold, it kind of makes your voice a little, deeper.
Oh, I definitely sound a bit more sexy this way.
There you go. That's that sexy cold voice.
There is nothing sexy about a running nose.
It's really not. But hey, it makes for great audio.
Oh, I'm gonna listen back to this and absolutely hate myself.
At least you get to control the stuff, so you can just put in some nice edges to it.
Of course, and you're lucky that a couple of your reactions last week didn't get cut out into some dodgy stuff, to be honest. I could have very easily done that.
Yes, it's true. So I have to be on my best behavior. But okay, well, yes. We'll start with our first segment. What is in the news?
Oh, this week has been brilliant. I've loved the news this week.
Makes a change from last week.
Yeah, where it was a little bit shorter last week because we didn't have a lot going on.
Yeah.
So we'll start out with Naughty Dog.
Yes.
So we all know that a recent state of play from PlayStation that The Last of Us Part 2 had an official release date, which was going to be the 21st of February of 2020.
Yes.
Sony made a big deal about that. Naughty Dog made a big deal out of that as well.
Everyone was very excited.
Yes.
I was,
now, it was stated on the Friday that's just been, which was the 25th, that Jason Schreier of Kotaku had heard from sources that there was going to be a minor delay to the game.
Right.
Now, Naughty Dog have actually come out and confirmed in a very, very long blog post that The Last of Us Part 2 is now delayed until 29th of May 2020.
Right.
Which is exactly what we said a couple of weeks ago. We think this should be delayed a little bit longer.
Exactly it. Yeah.
But, Naughty Dog, you've been listening. I'm worried now.
No, I'm not. Hey. Yes. Treasured listeners of the show, Naughty Dog.
I'm not sure about that.
Yes, favorite.
But Naughty Dog, if you have listened, then thanks for your listen and thanks for taking that criticism on board.
Exactly. Yeah, and we're available for any advising that you may need in the future.
Look, if you want to give me a job as one of your staff writers, I'll gladly take that.
Yeah, you'll take that sacrifice.
Yeah, I could write Last of Us Part 3.
Oh gosh. Oh. So
wait. I'm going to correct myself here. No, I couldn't, because I've never played The Last of Us.
You haven't?
No.
Stop the podcast. We have to discuss this.
No, we don't. Look, I'm going to tell you now. I was told by someone, an old friend of mine, that the gunplay in the game was utterly terrible. So I avoided it.
That's not good enough reason. Now,
Okay,
yes,
well,
I'm
it's on
going to.
PS Plus this month. I'm gonna go and get it for
Yeah,
free.
try that because honestly, okay, no, it does not have the best gun mechanics. I will 100% support that.
Yep.
But when it comes to story, character development, and also atmosphere, it definitely hits on all points.
I have heard that, and
Yeah,
Naughty Dog are usually very good when it comes to that sort of thing. So
they are. They
I would
are.
be, I'm going to be very interested to see what that is actually like. So as a result of that, I'm not overly that fussed about Last of Us Part Two at the moment, but
Um,
that may change in the future.
well, to be fair, I do look forward to it, but like all sequels to really big games,
Yeah,
there's always this fear that it's not going to be able to maintain that same fire. And
it's very hard to be able to do that
it
sort of thing with
is.
any sequel of anything, whether it be a movie, film,
Yeah,
or TV show,
absolutely.
whatever.
Um, so I've always kind of been hesitant towards it because of that.
Yep.
And then also, as we mentioned before, why don't they just hold off until the PS5 release? Um, so I I'm not I'm not upset by this delay. And normally I'm very, very, very vocal that delays in games usually equal quality control problems.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's why they're delaying the game is actually just
yeah,
to ensure that the quality is there for those fans who've been waiting a long time for this second part to come out.
yeah. And I can get on board with that. I can get behind that. It's like
Yeah.
you know, Red Dead Redemption 2 is a good example of
Mm-hmm.
they really spent a lot of time on that game, a lot of development time where people were like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you shouldn't, why would anyone need to spend that much time?" And to me, they came out with an amazing game that has not needed a lot of bug fixes and updates and tweaks and stuff like that. So a longer time in development doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing.
No. And to be fair, there was a famous quote from Shigeru Miyamoto that did say, "A delayed game does still come out. A broken game is always broken."
That's true. That's true. I saw that not too long ago, actually.
Yeah.
So I mean, that is true. I'm not a fan of delaying games, especially if it's. I mean, I mentioned last week Bioshock Infinite when
Yep.
it's delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed, or Duke Nukem Forever. Uh,
Yeah, the most famous example of a constant delaying problem.
exactly, but a single delay from a AAA maker who's had high quality games in the past, I trust them.
I do as well.
Yeah.
Naughty Dog haven't given me any reason to trust them, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. I have to agree.
Um, what I do find a little bit awkward about this entire situation, though, is a lot of fans were not very happy.
I Yeah, I was quite surprised myself to see a lot of vocal people on Twitter be very vocal about against coming out against Naughty Dog.
Yeah, I didn't agree with it.
No,
I
yeah,
look, they've clearly seen that there's a bit of an issue with the polish of the game, and they want to spend the time to make sure that they're not releasing like 100 gig updates or whatever
exactly.
on day of release just to ensure that this game is actually playable.
Yeah, cough, Bethesda, cough.
Woo! Nice
I
segue
know
there.
I did it. I segued.
So yeah, as you can probably tell by now, we're gonna talk some Fallout
Oh
76.
yes, yes, has to be
Now,
done.
look, this is controversial but also funny.
Yes,
So this does fill our quota for both.
yes.
So it was announced this week that Fallout 76, the MMO Fallout game,
That no one
is
asked for.
getting no, that it is getting a subscription model
Oh,
of
oh,
$99 a year.
oh, oh.
Now, this is what's annoyed people about it, is the fact that at E3 this year of
Hmm.
2019,
Yeah.
Bethesda came out and said they were going to add the Wastelands DLC,
Right.
which would add the NPCs into the game and everything like that. Now, they came out and delayed that until next year.
Yeah.
2 days later, they announced this subscription model.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Now, this is stupid.
Yeah,
Like,
it is.
Bethesda, if you are listening,
Yes, our
remove
other
this immediately.
yes,
Remove this. This
oh,
is a bad idea.
it
You
is.
have pretty much stuck your fingers up to those fans who are actually just still playing this game. And I mean
I
just,
was gonna
because
say
they are not very happy. And I
no.
can understand why. This game was a broken mess at launch. It still is a broken mess. And
It's
yet they want to charge $100 a year to play a broken mess.
a broken mess that also, for someone like myself who is very much into the Fallout lore,
Yeah.
very much. There's
This
so much that's like wrong about the whole game. I mean, no one asked for a Fallout MMO. The protagonist is always called, the lone wanderer, the sole survivor, for a reason. um,
Exactly, and it's why Fallout 3 had the music as well.
oh,
I'm a wanderer. I'm a wanderer.
oh yes,
Yeah.
that was Fallout
Yeah.
4, but yes.
Oh, was it? Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, but no, that's exactly it. A lot of the music choices do in fact reflect that. And I mean,
Yeah,
and to be fair, Bethesda's problems with Fallout started in Fallout 4.
they did.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I don't know what they were trying to do. Fallout has an established, well, we have an Fallout has an established canon. It has an established color scheme. It has an established voice and feel, and
Yeah.
and Fallout 4, it was like, oh well, we're gonna try and subtly change that, or not so subtly, adding
Yeah.
bright neon colors in, and I don't know, just some strange lore that didn't follow, and so it was already kind of getting a little iffy. I've now
Oh,
modded.
agreed.
I've modded my copy that it's into something that I enjoy personally, but it does not remotely look like the original game. So Fallout 76, I have no time for. I just don't. It doesn't fit the lore. It's a broken game, and I don't want to talk to other people while I play. And also,
No.
there's the whole line of they were giving free DLC that would add NPCs.
Which is a huge thing for Fallout.
Yes. Yes.
You're gonna leave them out and then add them in for free 18 months down the line.
I think, look, I could literally sit here and talk the rest of the podcast about the Outer Worlds. I had to be sure I didn't call it the Outer Wilds.
Which
That's
is
why I
what
was
a lot of
hesitating.
A lot of people have done that already,
Yes.
which is quite funny.
I do it myself, but that's why. Look, just go play Outer Worlds. Just go play Outer Worlds. Just do it.
Yeah.
Bethesda has dropped the ball. They've I don't know what they're doing. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they get back on track. I don't know that they will, but at least we got a funny thing out of it.
Oh, yes, we did. I loved this. Reading this website was utterly hilarious. But please be advised that is very rude.
It
is.
It is.
I wouldn't advise for the younger generation to go and read this, but essentially what happened is Bethesda didn't actually register the domain of falloutfirst.com.
Which is
so a fan did.
Which let's also probably clarify for those who don't know, but Fallout First is the subscription service. So
yeah, sorry, I should have said that, yeah.
The first thing that they should have registered was the domain. So
yeah, someone really didn't do their job.
Yeah.
So basically what a fan had done is they registered the Fallout First domain themselves, got it crowdfunded to
Yes.
pay the server fees, and used it as a way to completely bash Bethesda's decision.
I love it. I
Where
absolutely love
I'm
it.
not going to tell you what the banner actually says, but it says Fallout F you first.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which, we keep it clean here, but that definitely reflects, I know, my personal feelings towards it. So,
I would agree. I'm not a Fallout player. I'm not a Fallout 76 player, but even I was annoyed by this decision.
the best we can hope for, I think, is if someone at Bethesda will just wake up, read the actual website, see that a lot of this does reflect on how a lot of us fans do feel, and just fix it. Like, just fix it. Fallout's easy. It's a retro-futuristic scheme with a post-apocalyptic feel, which means kind of your darker, grayer colors.
Of course.
Yeah, and then the best part of Fallout has always been, at least for me and for a lot of people, and that's why Outer Worlds is going to do so well, is companions. The companions of specifically Fallout New Vegas, they made
they were
the
great.
game. They were so real, and you just really felt for them. And all of that's been lost in the recent versions.
Of course. I remember going back and playing Fallout 3 a few years ago.
Yeah.
And even the early quests with the Wasteland Survival Guide with Moira Brown, they were amazing. She has got so much personality. It's ridiculous.
Exactly. And she is just a, quote, NPC, which...
Exactly.
Why would you have a Fallout game without NPCs?
I want to know what Todd Howard was smoking during that meeting.
I wonder. I have to honestly wonder. In Todd we trust, but not
anymore. Not anymore.
Not anymore.
I'm sorry. It's gone are the days where Todd Howard was once the guy where you could trust to bring a good experience with Elder Scrolls and with Fallout.
Exactly.
But
he had an eye for talent. He could just zoom in on it and get the writers and I don't know what's happened. I really don't. Money, I guess.
I would say so. I don't think ZeniMax have really helped them in that sort of respect.
Yeah, which is disappointing because they were so good with, like New Vegas. And, allowing...
Well.
Well, allowing the freedom and the...
Wow.
Well, yeah. But see what the good thing is, like the New Vegas team is the original Black Isle team that did Fallout 1 and 2.
Yeah, which is now known as Obsidian Entertainment.
Yes. And who's now done Outer Worlds, which is why so many of us keep mentioning Outer Worlds. In case,
which is why it's the pseudo it's the pseudo Fallout New Vegas for the new generation, basically.
It is, and again, I'm going to refrain from speaking too much about it because I am doing a review for Rapid Reviews UK. But I'm a few hours into it, and a full 24 hours. And it, I kind of went straight through. And it is, the feels are back, the companions, the humor, the comedy timing is second to none. It's the same team, and they're great.
That's good.
So, Fallout First, Fallout 76, Fallout First. Why even, I can't even find in the lore where that fits. But,
no.
Yeah, so I get a little preachy about Fallout because it is very dear to my heart.
Of course.
Bethesda, you just messed up.
Yeah, to be fair, I have the same with Street Fighter, so right. I have a lot of love for that series.
Street
and when
Fighter
they decided, when they decided to go down the the esports sort of
Yeah.
way of doing things with Street Fighter 5, that's where I clocked out. I had
Oh,
enough.
yeah. Well, we all reach our limits, on our series. I mean, I think we've both mentioned before Halo. Like,
Yep,
you can only go so far, and then
exactly.
you're
Look,
done. You clocked out.
yeah, I'm all right with buying 7 different copies of Street Fighter 2 over the years, but once they start adding season passes every year for
Oh, see that?
£25, that's where I check out.
Yep. That's exactly, yeah. As soon as I see something like season pass, and I know that a lot of people will disagree with that, but I just see money grab, and I'm
Me
not a
too.
fan of money grabs. I do
No,
see, I see games as a form of entertainment and a form of art.
me too.
I absolutely think
Yeah,
that, yeah, video games can be artistic, or work of
yeah,
art. So
exactly.
when you start seeing stuff like season pass or this Fallout First, it just
Yep,
feels so loot boxes and EA and just takes the
yeah.
art away. But
And to be
yeah.
fair, like I just started my subscription on Game Pass Ultimate on PC, so I will be getting the Outer Worlds.
Oh,
But I
good.
downloaded a game on there that was the absolute epitome
Oh dear.
of money grab.
What was it? If you
Marvel
may know.
versus Capcom Infinite.
Oh yeah. Yes. That
My God,
is.
my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh, it makes me
It
feel sick.
Right. That's exactly how I feel when I go to play. Something like that, which is I just feel slimy and like I'm a cog in the machine.
Yeah, yeah, I have to say, I purchased the game on PS4, played it for an hour, and then
Mhm.
requested a refund on Amazon.
Yeah. Yeah. I I
Damn
could
you,
see that.
damn you, Amazon, for not giving me my full amount back.
Yeah, they do tend to do that.
Uh, Yeah, but to be fair, at least it's better than game. At
Oh
least I can
gosh,
actually get a
yeah.
refund. Where game, the minute the seal is broken, that's it. You can't
Yeah.
return it for full price.
And for any listeners that are outside of the UK, Game is essentially GameStop. And
Thank you for clarifying.
yeah, they're almost identical. And yeah, it's as soon as you, yeah, if you just touch the game with your thumb, they're like, oh, yep,
Pre-owned.
yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Ah,
But
no.
anyway, before I start getting
Yeah.
really, really angry about more broken stuff, we're going to move on to another
Yes.
broken thing.
Yes. But this
Hey,
one's,
segued again.
yeah, woo.
So we have another unfortunate broken game that's come out.
Yes.
And this time, the resulting casualty is WWE
Oh,
2K20.
yep. I knew you were gonna say it.
You should. You've got the
I've
show
got the
notes in
notes in
front of
front
you.
of
I'd
me
be worried.
exactly.
So basically, if you've been following anything to do with WWE 2K games over the years, you have noticed that their
Ooh,
quality has been going down every
in
year, unfortunately.
quite a decline.
Um,
Yes.
Ever since 2K decided to start making the games themselves,
Hmm.
that's where the problems have started because Ukes, who used to make the WWE games, left and decided
Yes.
not to carry on with it.
Oh,
Now they made great WWE games, like all the way back in the days, for
yeah.
SmackDown Here Comes the Pain on PS2 and
Yeah.
SmackDown 2 on the
Ah.
PlayStation 1 is still a firm favorite of
Yes.
mine.
Yes.
You know?
Like that's the ones that I remember playing and just being like, oh, it's so real.
Exactly, but one of the things that I really liked about them is that although they did feel kind of real, they felt very arcadey at the same time as well.
Yes. Yeah, they were very much entertainment as, let's say wrestling is very much entertaining. They
Thank you. I'm
capture
glad you said it. Yeah,
that.
I'm so glad you said it. I was going to mention it myself. It is sports entertainment,
Yes.
That is
It is.
exactly what they're all about, and that's what the games were, sports entertainment, and they
Yes.
were brilliant for that.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, they started to decline a little bit over the years,
Yeah.
but
Just a
then
little.
2K got involved and made it a lot worse.
Oh my goodness. The videos and the GIFs. Yeah, I'm going to call it GIFs. I do not say GIF.
Yep,
Sorry. Uh,
yep. GIFs all the way. No GIFs here.
yeah, no GIFs here. Because graphics is not graphics. So, anyway.
I've never thought. I've actually never thought about it like that
Really?
before.
That's the only way I could justify it in my head with saying GIF
Yeah.
is because graphics is not graphics. So, but
I would agree with you.
the videos and the GIFs that are coming out
Yeah.
are nothing short of amazing, and I love them.
I'm gonna link a couple of the favorite ones in our show notes so you can
Yes.
have a look. But the best one by sure is the one where he's one of the characters is literally just flying around the entire ring for no reason.
I love that one.
Oh, it's so weird.
But I really love the one where it's the two gals are fighting, and
Yes,
yes,
she gets slammed through a ladder and it disappears.
Yep.
And then she gets slammed on the steps.
Yes.
They then disappear into the floor.
Absolutely.
Then after getting slammed, gets raised up and gets caught in the ropes. It's so funny.
That is where I just lost it. I literally laughed out loud when she gets caught in the ropes, and then I was like,
Me too.
This is terrible. This has gone to release. This has been released.
Yes, this came out this week.
Yeah.
And according to one of our staff writers over here, apparently the influencers who got the chance to play the game early were telling them that this was a broken mess and they should change it.
Yeah, and they didn't. They didn't do it. I'm like, why?
To be fair, this is 2K we're talking about,
Yeah.
the same company that decided to have the gambling mechanics in the NBA 2K20.
Yes.
You got a casino in my basketball game, or sorry, the other way around. You got basketball in my casino simulator.
That's right. Which I don't know. I know we just, spent forever talking about Bethesda, but I really don't understand where these game companies, where the disconnect happens. There's no quality control.
I think that's the problem, is that a lot of companies are making cutbacks to the point where they can't afford to have QA testers anymore.
Yeah.
Now, from my experience, I know that EA actually get external QA testers. They actually put call-outs out on their websites for people who want to do them to come in and do a day's worth of QA testing. And they pay your expenses, they give you lunch, and that's about it. They don't pay you for the job. I know this because I've applied for it myself.
All right.
I now no longer can't do that because I have a conflict of interest.
Right, yeah.
But it was something that I'd considered doing a long, long time ago. But surely, if you've got all these multi-million-dollar games coming out, they should be able to actually include a QA department to test this game thoroughly, like it used to be the case.
Yeah, it's a very strange thing. And also not just QA and, QC, but also just straight up focus groups. What happened to that,
Yeah, you never hear about a focus group anymore, do you?
When Halo 3, before it was dropped on the Xbox 360, because it was the launch title, Microsoft made it a point to show that they had focus tested this game on across the board, from down to little kids to much older people, females and males, and just across the spectrum, everything. And they genuinely said or felt that they had made a game that would appeal to, have mass appeal. When I first heard that, I was a little put off, because I was, young and rebellious, and
of course
didn't want mass appeal. But the truth is, they came out with, it's got its negatives, but it's a pretty solid game, and that is replayable even now. 10 years later. God, I don't even know.
It came out in
2009.
It came out in 2007, I think it came out.
Yeah. Oh god, I don't want to think about that. But
yeah, and to be fair, Halo 3 is still the best in the series.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Yeah, absolutely. And they focus tested it. Like, they had released a product, not released, sorry, I did not mean released, but they had finished what they thought was their game that they were going to release, focus tested it, found out, no, people did not like this, and this, and they cut it, redid it, and, put out what we now know as Halo 3. I don't know how much, much more expense that was or anything like that. But I think that needs to be done again.
I would 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
It brings back the age-old thing of an old Simpsons episode that I remember watching years and years ago, where I can't remember. It's the Poochie episode,
Oh,
actually,
yes, yes.
where they get all the kids into the room and they're sitting there. And it's like, do you kids not know what you want? Because they're saying literally everything under the table is like, we want this, we want this, we want this.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think that's what it is now. Is they've got a load of people in a room just saying, we want this, 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 and this in our game. But how are we actually going to implement it?
You know what I'm wondering, though? Now that you've said that, it just made a thought pop up in my head. Whereas they used to have, dedicated focus groups where they'd go out and, cultivate people of all different walks of life. I wonder if they've dropped focus groups for things like Twitter.
Yeah, I probably would agree that the social media is now the new focus group.
Yeah, and I don't think that's an accurate slice of life, honestly.
No, because the game has to come out first before the focus group even happens.
Yeah, but I mean, you know how there's a lot of like, we'll take Last of Us. When Last of Us was announced,
Yep.
There's a lot of people saying, oh, well, it better have this and it better have that. The Last of Us 2, I mean. Or even Fallout 4, probably the biggest example. Fallout 4 was announced. I was on pins and needles. I was like, I watched that website with the countdown. I was like, oh my gosh. And then they announced it. There was no details about it, and that was okay. I think they said it was going to be set in Boston, I think. Although I may have gotten it from Reddit.
No, I knew that anyway because they were around for about 2 years about Fallout 4.
Yeah.
They said that it was gonna have something to do with the Institute and it was gonna be a Boston setting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And when the game did get actually announced at E3, it was still a bit of a surprise because I think what the biggest surprise of it is that they had quite a functioning game and it was out in 6 months.
Yeah. I mean, out of everything they've done, I actually do like that timeline. I like that reveal.
Yeah.
But that's because
so do I. Don't show anything until it's ready to be shown.
Yeah. Because I have no patience.
Neither do I.
I'm the type of person that, like Christmas will be around in a couple of months. If I buy anyone any gift, Christmas or birthday or whatever, I have to buy it like the day before I give it to them.
Oh, right.
I don't have the patience to sit on it for that long. And so I'm kind of that way about games is when they're announced, I just die. If it's a game that I really, really want, I will literally count down to when it comes out.
Me too.
Yeah. So anyway, to bring it back around, I do wonder though if maybe that's what they're doing. They're just gleaning what they can from Twitter and going, oh well, Twitter. Well, not just Twitter, but anything. They want this. Let's put this in. Like, no, I don't know. No one asked for a freaking MMO Fallout.
Nobody asked for wrestlers to fly around the ring.
No, nobody did. Although it is kind of a funny gift.
Yeah, it is very funny, and I think this is where the industry does need to change a little bit. Is the whole mentality of release first, fix it later.
Yeah, exactly.
Not fun for us consumers who have spent £50, $60, or however much it is in other currencies around the world.
Yeah.
I don't like that principle just because I think it's lazy. I think it's a bit stupid, really, that they're not willing to spend an extra 6 months to a year just to make sure that everything is all ironed out.
Well, see, I would think because I do own and run my own business, so I kind of understand budgeting and cost versus reward and that type of thing, and
of course,
and measured risk and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
If they would spend just a little bit more, and it is an expense, but a little bit more to get a focus group and to take, an extra 3 to 6 months, I still think that they would make back their money. I think they'd make back their money even more if they
Too right.
release, a quality product. Then, who, in all of our years of being game players, video game players, have we ever heard up until, last week of refunds being given in games?
Not really.
you
Not
know?
really.
And that money has to come from somewhere. So,
Yeah.
I think that to avoid having to pay refunds for broken games or,
Yep.
Releasing broken games and then just hoping that you make budget or whatever, you make back your budget.
Yep.
Spend a little extra time, get some focus groups. You'll make back your money. You'll make it double. I bet you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd agree. And just as one last example to finish this off,
Yeah.
there was a game that was incredibly delayed. There was a game that had transitioned from one console to another. I'm being particularly vague on what that game is at the moment. They didn't have the game in a very working state for the longest period of time. It did come out on 2 consoles.
Right.
But it was the extra time in the oven that actually meant that it led to the game and the sales and the critical reception it did get. That game, Breath of the Wild.
Oh, that's an excellent example. That is a fabulous example. Yes. Oh, yeah. That, bam, nothing more needs to be said.
I don't think so.
Boom. That's it.
That game was delayed,
Yes, it was.
delayed, but it came out and is pretty much, in the eyes of the consumer, the masterpiece of the Zelda series.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It plays beautifully. Put a point on it. That's it.
Yeah, that's the example that most game developers should look at, that a game can be delayed and still come out fantastic if you spend the time and the money and the passion to get it done.
That's it. Yeah, that's what they need, passion.
Too right. And I think a lot of these game devs aren't very passionate about their jobs anymore, to the point where it's just, let's just get this out and then we can fix it later. And I don't agree with that mentality. I can't stand it.
Yeah, I have to agree. Absolutely.
Yeah. Shall we move on?
Yes. Moving on to our topic of the week. The importance of music in video games.
This is one that I put forward to you.
Yes.
It was a slice of inspiration listening to the Mario Galaxy soundtrack.
Which is very inspirational.
It is one of my favorite soundtracks of all time, and I had this debate out with someone numerous times over the years, that he said that a Mario game should never have an orchestral soundtrack, and I vehemently disagreed with him.
I have to absolutely disagree with that.
It was beautiful. It hit all the right strings, and I meant that literally as well. It really conveyed that sort of that energy that you wanted it to feel. You wanted the Star Festival music at the very opening of the game still sends a shiver down my spine. It's still beautiful.
It's absolutely gorgeous. I have to agree with you there. And I do feel that a music soundtrack can make or break a game, because it sets up, the ambiance. Like, let's say we'll use Mario Galaxy. It was such a large feel because it was the Galaxy. So it needed that sweeping orchestral, background to convey that sense of giantness.
Yeah, of course. And you look at it in any film score, you have a lot of really big sort of brass instruments that help convey a lot of different emotions, and you got the string quartets that are able to, get you right in the feels and that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
It was one of those, it was very bold, it was very dynamic, and that was what I really enjoyed about it. And as a visual medium, with films, with video games as well, it's not just the music; it's everything as a package. And I
Yes.
think if you played a game without music or sound effects,
Oh,
I think it would be a very different experience.
I would agree. I'm
I have actually done it where I've played a game. I've played Super Smash Brothers earlier on in the year when I was actually competing at Evo,
oh
and I
cool.
couldn't hear anything, and it was such a different experience. It was
Oh,
so
that would
hard to sort
be.
of because
Yeah.
you
You have
lots of
cues and
different
stuff.
audio cues and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. So it's very hard to actually be able to play a game without those there.
Yeah, that actually just popped in my head. I mean, imagine playing Tetris with no sound.
No,
That would be
no, no,
strange. That would be
no, because
strange.
the no, because I love that Tetris
Oh,
99
it's
music, and it gets me
yeah,
hyped many
yes.
times. It's when you hit those 50 and it just
Oh,
kicks in and it becomes basically
yes.
like Euro dance. It's like, oh my god,
Oh,
I am in the
yes.
zone right here.
Yes. Uh, Totally off topic, but one of my greatest moments was I made it on the leaderboard on the Tetris 99. Yeah,
No.
yeah, but it only lasted like very brief, very brief.
Oh, okay. No,
Yeah.
I'm really annoyed because I've played that game for nearly 50 hours.
Whoa! I don't know that I
I've
put that
never
much in
won
it.
once.
No!
I've not won a game, and I'm so disappointed in
Oh
myself.
no! Ah, yeah, it's a fun one. But to to go back to our topic, like
Yeah,
actually, again, I'm trying not to talk too much about it, but the
yeah.
Outer Worlds, I I had
Back
left
to
it.
our world.
I know. I left it on, like I had just started it up, and I had to
Yeah,
go grab like a soda or something,
yeah.
and it was
Sorry. Can I stop you there?
uh
You are British now. Never say
huh.
soda. It is a fizzy drink.
The funny thing is, because I'm originally from Texas, every soda is referred to Coke as Coke. Everything.
That's
You
terrible.
walk into a restaurant and they go, what would you like to drink? And you say Coke, and they're like, okay, what kind? Sprite, whatever, and saying the names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
to be fair, that is because Sprite, Fanta, and
they're
Coke are
all
all
owned by.
the Coca-Cola Corporation.
Yeah, exactly. But yes, so I did that. I stepped away or whatever, but I could still hear the
Yeah.
music, and it was
Mm,
gorgeous. It's so,
yeah.
and it was like you said, it had brass, and I used to play a brass instrument in school, so I have a kind of affinity for that, and it was just
Yeah, I would agree. I played bass guitar for a
oh,
band for a brief period of time, so
very
music is very
nice.
important to me.
Oh yeah,
There's been
absolutely.
so many times in the past where I haven't really been feeling emotionally right in myself, where
Mm-hmm.
I could stick either a game soundtrack on or a particular band, and it can help you change
Yes,
your entire mindset. I mean, I
absolutely.
did something very similar to you with the Outer Worlds,
Mm-hmm.
where I was playing Mario Odyssey. Now,
Mm-hmm.
to anyone who knows me, they know that Mario is the series of all time. Um, so I went to go and make myself a cup of tea because I'm so very British.
Yes.
Um, and I was in the Wooded Kingdom of Mario Odyssey, and I just left the music to go.
Yeah.
When I came back, it had hit into this incredible part of the music that was just where I literally just sat there and listened to it for
Yes.
a good couple of minutes and just went, "This is incredible.
Oh, I
This
love
is
that feeling.
utterly genius." Like
Yeah.
the amount of love that goes into music creation as well as the visual medium is just astounding. And
Yeah.
you just have to look at the fact that people like Koji Kondo, who have worked for Nintendo for so many years, have got
Mm-hmm.
the most iconic music out there. You know,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
non game players out there still know what Mario soundtracks
Oh
are.
yeah, that's a
Like
very good
everyone
point.
knows it.
Yeah, and they had, what did they have, like 8 notes to choose from or something? They didn't have
Yeah, pretty
a
much. And
yeah, it was a very
according
restricted.
to like Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think I lost you there for a second.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a very restricted, format.
Yeah, and to be fair, one of the very first examples of music in a video game was a game that I played a little bit of time ago. It wasn't that long ago actually. It was last year.
Hmm.
Was It's a ZX Spectrum game by the name of Manic Miner.
Oh, neat. Um, we did not have the Z spectrum like you guys did, so I've missed out on a lot of those games.
Manic Miner is one of the greatest games out
Is
there.
it really? Is it like Dig
Uh,
Dug?
Kind of actually.
Really? Okay.
Um, it is one of the very first examples of a true platformer game.
Oh, nice. Excellent.
It it's a little bit slow, but
Yes.
it's so wonderfully made.
Aw.
And there's the follow-up game to it that was also on the Spectrum as well, called Jet Set Willy. Is
Okay, I've heard that now.
truly, truly brilliant as well. So to anyone out there, that you should go and check those games out.
Yeah.
But as the music is very recognizable in Manic Miner, a tune that everyone knows.
Ah,
But it is quite interesting to hear it in that sort
that
of
form.
way. Yeah.
That's kind of like Lemmings. Um,
Oh, lemons! How I love.
yeah, I loved Lemmings. It depended on what platform you played it on, because
Yeah.
some of them didn't have background music. I can't remember. It's been
No.
so long. But then some of them
I,
had the kind of, it was public domain. I think it was all MIDI files, but
yeah, that's exactly what it is with Manic Miner as well. Is
yeah,
the music in there is main, so I used it.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think it was the Amstrad version and the Spectrum versions that didn't have the music on Lemmings.
Okay. I,
I believe. I could be wrong in that.
honestly, it was so long ago. I don't remember, but I do remember playing both versions
Yeah.
repeatedly. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I played more of Lemmings and Oh No More Lemmings
gosh,
one.
yes. um,
It's. I'm so glad you mentioned it because it was really weird that earlier on in the week that someone I follow on Twitter actually was talking about Lemmings memes, and I was like,
really?
"What? Yeah,
Ah, it's a great game. I'm just now realizing that there may be some kind of younger listeners that may not know what we're talking about.
go. Do yourself a
Yeah,
favor, go out and play Lemmings.
yeah,
I'm not going to explain it. It's just
yeah. You can explain
it
it.
needs no explanation. You just gotta play it.
Yeah. No, you will lose hours of fun.
Yeah,
It's just yeah.
those
Um,
white bodied green haired men.
yes,
So they are
exactly.
awesome.
Well, I guess they're lemmings, but
They are, but they look
they
like men.
they look like Fraggles from Fraggle Rock. But
Oh, blimey.
um, so okay, going back to the
Music and video
music and
games.
video games. Is there a specific like motivational like makes you want to just jump up and
To
take on the day?
Absolutely. I would be amiss to not mention this because I think I'd get killed by one of our staff writers here. The objection theme from Phoenix Wright always
Oh
gets me
yes.
incredibly hyped.
Very good choice. I have to agree that is a very good choice. Yes.
Like, I can't not listen to that without frantically doing something. It's like, I remember when I was writing the Phoenix Wright review, actually, when I reviewed it earlier on in the year for the site.
Yes.
That was all I had on in the background, and I was just getting myself into the mind frame of this. So I stuck the first three soundtracks on just on
That's
on
perfect.
shuffle,
Yeah.
and was just like, I need to get into the mind frame of the game. And all three objection themes came up in the row,
Oh.
and that's where I got most of the bulk of the writing done.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to say for me, for like years, my go-to pump up song was, it's only 2 minutes long, but it's the Oblivion intro.
Yes.
Oh.
So much emotion conveyed through that music is unreal.
Just that brass just hits, and it's just so full. And I actually, here's the interesting thing. I have it's not a condition, that's the wrong term, but I have an aspect to myself which is called synesthesia. That is where your senses are a little bit mixed up, but it can produce some really fun kind of things, combinations. For me, when I hear music, I see and sometimes feel textures, but I see colors and textures. I did not know until I started going to like therapists and stuff that not everyone had this. So like when I would watch Fantasia, Disney's Fantasia, and in the beginning it would do like the colors matched up with the sounds. Like for me that was like, why is this entertaining? It's better in my head. Like I couldn't, like, the idea that wasn't a thing. So there are things, and for me it's the Oblivion intro, that just some amazing colors come up, and it just makes you feel so like just ready to take on the world. And for a very long time I used to listen to that, and like I said, it's only about 2 minutes, but it just hits that brass, and it's just wow.
Now, I remember actually that was my first ever experience of an Elder Scrolls game, and I did sit there and listen to that opening music for quite a while, just because it was so brilliant.
It really is. And to be fair, like, I knew of Morrowind, but oh god, we're talking about a Bethesda game again.
This episode is happily sponsored by Bethesda.
No.
Make sure you get your Fallout First membership at Fallout First. No, I'm not even going to go. No, don't go Fallout First unless you want a good laugh.
Yes, exactly. But I have to say, like, okay, no, I never played. I didn't play Morrowind first. I ended up doing that. Like, well, I did and I didn't. I think it was a demo in a magazine I'd got, because they used to send demos.
The old school demo that you used to get for PS2 and Xbox magazines and stuff like that.
I had stacks of demos and
Me too.
Oh yeah. So I'm pretty sure I played Morrowind as a demo, but I was more into just like Half-Life, and my mind was more focused on that kind of stuff. First person shooters. I've always been FPS, but a kind of slight turn to RPGs. But then Oblivion came out and just blew my mind. That Oblivion and then subsequently Fallout 3. Bethesda, just, they had it right. And that music, just bam. Ugh.
Yeah. Now, I'm glad you mentioned being blown away by something. Because I'm going to mention Halo 2.
Oh, yes. Oh,
Breaking
yes.
Breaking Benjamin. My God, was that a powerhouse in that part of the campaign. I loved that.
Oh, my gosh. But it's funny that you mentioned Breaking Benjamin, because, yes, that is... I love that. It's so cheesy and of its time, but it was so good. But...
No, I disagree with you. I think it's still good.
But in Halo 3, I still can't believe they got Steve Vai to do... that last... The
the main Halo theme.
Oh my gosh. And you're just jumping the warthog, and it's just
it was beautiful.
And it's just like, oh my gosh. Oh, and then when you make that leap, that last leap, and Cortana's like, Chief, we won't make it, and he goes, we'll make it. And then the music swells. And I'm just like, I love you, Escape, so much.
That very typical one note, very Master Chief way of doing things.
Yeah.
We'll make it.
We'll make it. I thought of shooting my way out. But anyway, I'm not gonna sit here and quote Halo because I could. Oh, I love it so much. But
I just wanted to ask you quickly.
Sure.
If you had to say your top 3 soundtracks of all time, what would they be?
Game soundtracks.
Yes.
Okay. Now this is going back, maybe not as well known, but there was a RPG, believe it or not, on the Super Nintendo.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I do believe, and please, if you're out there listening and I'm wrong, please correct me.
Yep.
There was an RPG made by the Final Fantasy crew, but it wasn't Final Fantasy. It was called Quest, I believe. It had a big giant Q on the box. And
I believe it might have been called EverQuest.
No, not EverQuest. I do like EverQuest.
Okay.
This was a very strange one.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't say I've heard. That's weird.
Yeah, and the music on that. Let me be absolutely sure.
Yeah.
Because although I love being corrected, so please, if you're out there,
yeah.
Mystic Quest. So
Mystic
Quest. And actually, here it says it is a Final Fantasy release. I have no idea. Oh, okay, so it was. Yeah. Anyway, Mystic Quest,
probably made by the same people who made Final Fantasy, but just part of the main mythos.
Yeah, exactly. I was very young and I liked the box art. I used to pick up games just based on box art. Yeah. That game was the first time that the soundtrack just I got tingles. Which I assume that's what ASMR people get. I don't get that.
Neither do I.
Yeah. Not knocking it for those who enjoy it.
Yeah, each their own.
Yeah, so I would put that as definitely probably my top one.
Yeah.
And then I know I'm predictable and vanilla and everything. I gotta say Oblivion, and then I gotta say Halo 3. Yeah, it's not imaginative, but those are the ones that I put on. Oh, actually, oh no, I wish I could remember the name of it. There is an indie game.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel so bad for not remembering it because it's an indie game, but their soundtrack is in my list of things that I put on to write to.
Yeah.
It is absolutely wonderful. I have Undertale and then this indie game, and they're just great to throw on in the background and write to.
Of course.
Yeah. So, what about you?
You've already mentioned one of them. Undertale.
Undertale. It's wonderful.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
The game itself is truly glorious, but the music is wonderful. The Save the World theme is one of my go-to pieces of music.
Yes.
I love it. I absolutely love it. It's giving me tingles now just thinking about it.
Oh, no, it is. I have to definitely agree with you on that one. It is one of the better soundtracks. Absolutely.
Yeah, ever since I played Undertale a couple of years ago, I have not stopped thinking about that game. The music, the visuals, the art, everything about that game is just truly glorious.
It is. It is.
It made me feel all the feels.
Yes, exactly. Oh, yeah. I love it.
I'm a little bit funny with this one because I don't necessarily have top soundtracks, like top threes. I have stuff that I usually listen to on a go-to moments.
Right.
But I have mentioned the other one is the Mario Galaxy soundtrack.
Yeah.
I think for different reasons, because it hits so many of those really good notes that it's something that I can just listen to anytime.
Oh, it's fabulous for sure.
So good. And I'm going to stoke the fans of the flames here by saying that the first is definitely better than the second.
Oh.
For me personally, I think the originality of Mario Galaxy 1's soundtrack is a lot better than the remix versions of Galaxy 2. I mean, they're both very, very good soundtracks, but I just prefer the first one over because of its originality.
I definitely know that a lot of people do prefer the kind of remixed second one.
Yeah, I can agree with like why they would, but
Right. But
I don't get along with that principle
yeah,
myself.
yeah. I have to agree that yeah, that yeah, yeah. I like the first one better. Absolutely.
Yeah, but I'm gonna throw an obscure one your way
Sure.
for my third.
Okay.
Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door.
Okay, you know, you're not wrong. Okay, yes. We
That
briefly
has got a
touched on that.
wonderful soundtrack.
It does. Um we briefly touched on that game last week, I think.
I think so. Yeah.
Because the only way I've played it has
Oh
been
yeah,
dodgy.
yeah.
But uh, But you're right. You're absolutely right. That is a very well. Oh god, yeah. No, it is. It's replaying in my head now. So.
Honest, I don't want to give too much away about the
Mhm.
game, even though it's very point.
Yeah.
But the Shadow Lady boss music at the very
Oh.
end for the final boss is just brilliant.
Yes. 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 You're right. You pulled that one out of left field, and you're absolutely right. That is a good one.
It's on my phone. It stays there, and I can't have the heart to remove that soundtrack.
No, I absolutely understand that. I really do. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. For sure.
Mm. There are some other very, very good ones out there. Just for some honourable mentions, I've
Hmm.
mentioned the Phoenix Wright soundtracks. They are
Absolutely.
wonderful.
Hmm.
Um, you've mentioned Halo, obviously,
Yeah.
because every Halo game's got great music
Oh,
in
it
it.
does. It does. Yeah, even the ones that don't exist.
Yeah, and there is an utter myriad of indie games out there that
Oh,
are really pushing the boundaries of what music design
yes.
can do for it.
Hmm.
And we've obviously mentioned Undertale being one of the biggest
Yeah,
examples of an indie game that's got fantastic music, but that's because Toby
absolutely.
Fox is the most dedicated man in gaming, I
Oh,
think.
yes. No, hands down. Oh,
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll hear something about the music when one of our writers does review Little Town Hero,
oh, yes. I think
because
that
he
might.
does the music for that, doesn't he?
Yes, that's right. Oh,
I'll
man.
be interested to hear
Hmm.
their thoughts are on the music of that game.
Yeah, for sure. And I have to say, just to throw this in here, I'm currently reviewing a game that's not Outer Worlds. um,
That's a big shock.
I know. And I should that review should be out soon. And while I'm not going to comment here on the gameplay,
Yeah.
the sound design is fabulous.
What?
It's called Stygian. The game is called Stygian. It's based on Lovecraftian horror.
Oh, I
Um,
didn't know that.
yeah.
That interests me a lot because of our pre-conversation
Yes.
talking
Exactly.
about uh, Call of Cthulhu.
That's right. Well, yes. Which Cthulhu obviously is featured quite prominently in this game. Um, yeah, I didn't
Okay.
even think of that. But again, read the review for the actual gameplay and rating and all that stuff. But I will
Yeah.
say that the sound design, it's all you can tell it's all like created, like all original. That's the word
Yeah.
I'm looking for. Uh,
Yeah.
Everything from the footsteps to everything, it's just you can tell there's been an extra layer of care taken with the sound design
Yeah.
that kind of supersedes the game itself. So
Of
I'd
course.
highly encourage, if you do play it, to put headphones on because you're not.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's really good. But
Okay. I'm gonna mention one last soundtrack because it's just cropped into mind here.
yes.
It's for a game that unfortunately has been delisted.
Oh no.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game, has
Oh.
probably one of the best chiptune soundtracks of all
Yeah.
time by Anna Managuchi.
Yes.
It is
Yes.
unbelievably good.
Yes. I only got to play it a couple of times because I found it frustrating just because. But
Oh wow, okay. I think
yeah.
me and you might have some words after this.
um, but no, you're right. The soundtrack to that is very, very well done. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely
Mm.
enjoyable for sure.
That, damn it! I thought of another one that I could have put on my top list, but I'll leave it for another time.
Yeah, because I still need to find out the name of that indie game. I'm
Yeah,
so annoyed with myself.
I, yeah. I mean, we could go on for hours about this, couldn't we?
We really could, because I think we're both very interested in music.
Yep.
And yeah, it's so intrinsic. It's intrinsic to not just the setup of the game itself, the
Yeah.
worlds, the world building, blah blah blah, but the emotional content.
Of course.
Which leads us to our next bit of news. If you caught us last week, and we sure hope you did, we are currently running a contest with Anchor, Anker, Anchor.com,
Yep.
for a power core portable charger, fast charger, I might say. And the
Yep.
parameters of the contest are: give us your most emotional charged moment in gaming. And as we said last time, it doesn't necessarily mean a scene, although it can be. Just any moment,
Yeah.
even anything during E3, even, or a piece of music, which I
Yeah.
think
It could.
was yours. Yeah, last time.
My one that I said last time was that the return of Donkey Kong Country.
Yes, that's it. Yes,
Now that the
such a
music
good
gave
one.
me chills, and that's
So
what
good.
that's what one of those emotionally charged moments for me was, is seeing a game and a series that I had absolutely loved finally get the recognition and the reboot that it truly deserved.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
it's the fact that they got the original composer back to do the music as
Yes.
well, and it was like, this is everything I wanted this to be and more.
Yes, absolutely. So, let us know. You can let us know on Twitter. You can
Yeah,
let us know on our Facebook page or the website, which we'll rehash all those at the end.
of
Um,
course.
and, and then you'll be put into a pot of random names, and a winner will be randomly picked. But I'm
But
hoping,
not by us.
no, not by us. um, um, but I'm hoping we'll get to read a few on air. I would love to hear, your most emotionally charged moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah, you have until the 8th of November to get involved at 11:59 p.m. So
yeah.
for all those people that are playing Death Stranding, put Death Stranding down for a few minutes
Yeah, this
and
is more
tell us your
important.
emotionally charged moments.
Yes, and we will definitely be looking forward to that. Yeah, I would love to hear it, and see who picks up a really awesome power core fast charger. I love those.
Yes,
Yeah,
they are brilliant. They are fantastic little products, so I'd highly recommend anyone to check them.
absolutely. And
Yeah.
again, we want to thank Anchor for sponsoring this giveaway, and they sponsored last week's episode as well. And
Yes.
yeah, so always eternally grateful. Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah.
But we are gonna move on to a very brief one this week, but
Yes.
you know, our you've got this section.
Yes.
You know,
Probably my favorite segment.
it's my favorite as well. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's been a bit of a tough week for me this week.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, but knowing that I'm gonna come and do this podcast and talk to you about it and
Mm-hmm.
get it all out into the open with the listeners is something that makes me feel a little bit better in my, you know, so that I'm not keeping it to myself all the
Yes.
time and constantly festering on that mentality. It's nice to be able to actually have an outlet to be able to discuss the problems at hand, and
Absolutely.
it's not just with yourselves but with my family as well.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, there's a member of my family who's very prominent in this in this very thing as well, because they're going through the same thing. So we bounce off of each other all the time and we help each other constantly, and it's a really nice outlet to be able to have that.
That is excellent. Absolutely. Um,
Yeah.
and as I have always said and will continue to say for many years in the future that we're going to be doing this, is, you know, we all go through a tough time, and there's no shame to be had in admitting that, seeking help if you feel that you do need it.
Yep.
And, you know, whatever you're facing this week, you've got it. You've got this. We're back here, you know, supporting you. And we're always cheering for you. And as we say every week, we're here if you need us. We're both very easygoing, non-judgmental people, and we've been through our own things. So, you know, reach out. Something I want to kind of echo Pete on this is that, yeah, like I've had, you know, a rough time of it, as everyone has, but coming together and doing this podcast has, you know, it's really, really done a wonderful world of amazing things for me mentally. And so, you know, we just want to spread that positivity to you and to let you know that it's tough out there, but you got this.
Exactly. We usually sit on our calls before our podcast, and we have a little chat and ask about the week that's gone by. And obviously I had noticed that there was something going on with Kiley. So the first thing I did was I asked, is everything okay? And you sort of just went on a bit of a rant and said everything and did your thing, and I didn't mind. I knew you needed to get it off your chest, and that was it. And ever since then you've been happy and laughing about everything now.
I
and
really
it's
have, yeah.
Absolutely. Because what it is you can feel very isolated in your own head.
Yes. Yes.
You can somewhat overblow certain things that when you actually say them out loud to someone, you can sometimes go, maybe this isn't what I was thinking, or maybe this isn't as bad as what I made it out to be, or something like that. But it's until you go and talk to someone and you have that perspective it's when you start to realize that. You know, living inside your own head is one of the worst things that you can do, and I'm incredibly guilty for doing that myself. But just reaching out and doing something about it, just getting in contact with someone you trust, is just enough to maybe push you through the hard time that you're having, or make you see that you can't do this alone and you need some extra help.
Absolutely. And we've mentioned it before, but you know, Pete and Mike, who owns and operates Rapid Reviews UK, our overlord.
Hell, Overlord Mike.
Yes, he is the greatest.
Why do I sound like an NPC?
Exactly.
We've got more NPCs than Fallout 76.
No, that is very true. But yes, but for me, as someone who's had difficult times, mostly with, and yeah, I know I'm a broken record, but finding out I'm on the spectrum and trying to just figure my way out through life, having that. So I've been very fortunate to have people like you know, Pete and Mike. They'll check in with me occasionally. I'm not used to that. I'm a very individualistic, very just kind of to myself, lone wolf, if you might. But just that little bit of, you know, you okay? It goes a very long way. So, you know, take this as your personal, you okay? If you need to. Yeah.
We are on social media. We will give the details out later. Drop me or Kiley a DM anytime.
Yeah.
I'm
absolutely.
more than happy to reach out and say, what is it you need? What do you want help with? Because to be honest with you, in the mind frame that I am with the time where I don't particularly appreciate myself, the most appreciation I get is knowing that I can possibly help someone, and I
Absolutely.
feel so much better in myself knowing that
Hmm.
I've gone out of my way to make sure that someone else is okay.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So you got this, and we're always here.
Of course. Should we move on to questions?
Yes, definitely.
We've got a trio of amazing questions again.
Yes.
And this comes courtesy of our regular.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Thomas, again at LlamaFluff42 on Twitter
Yeah.
for your amazing questions. So I'm
Top
going to start with this one.
contributor.
Yes. I'll start with this one because we mentioned about them earlier on
Hmm.
in the episode. With WWE 2K20 attracting a fair bit of criticism, what do you think needs to happen to overhaul the series? Those horrible minigame QTE style controls need to go.
I am going to 100% agree with that statement. I hate quick time events. I hate them. So,
It's one of the reasons why I disliked certain parts of Resident Evil 4.
oh yeah.
Even though that game is absolutely fantastic,
Hmm.
they annoyed the heck out of me.
Yeah, I hate them in Res 4, but also oh god, is it the no? That's the movie name, but it's the Lara Croft. The newer ones. I was gonna say
Oh,
Rise of the Tomb Raider, but I think that's the movie's name.
no, it's not. It's actually the second. Was it the second one?
I can't remember.
No. So you had the reboot series by Crystal
Yeah,
Dynamics. You
that's
had
what we're talking about. Yes.
Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's been my major complaint since day one.
Far too many QTEs in
Far
that.
too many. Far too many. Yes, I do think that games can be very much on an epic scale of, of like a movie. But
Yeah.
I don't want to watch my games. I want to play my games. And so
There is
Mhm.
there is something about having an interactive game like Heavy Rain. Like press X to Jason.
Oh my gosh. All of his games, Heavy Rain and Detroit Becomes Human, and
Beyond Two Souls.
Beyond Two Souls, yes. I am not a fan of playing those games. Oddly, though, I am a fan of watching them on like Let's Players.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, but playing them, I find them endlessly frustrating. I don't.
Yeah, that's because I don't want to walk around a shopping mall having to press X to Jason.
Yes.
Jason! Jason!
Oh my gosh.
That got memed to all hell, didn't
gosh, yes. And you can actually put. It's also a mod in several games.
Of course it is.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what it was. I want to say it was Skyrim, actually.
That doesn't surprise me because the mod on that was pretty amazing.
Oh no, somebody had done it in Fallout 4 because the baby's name, I don't know, but I forget why, but it comes into play and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
So as far as a meme, it's great, but let's get that out of all games, but I don't know that WWE can, as a 2K game, can be saved at this point. What do you think?
I believe the only way to overhaul the series is to reboot it.
Yeah.
That's it. Get a developer on board that is interested in making proper wrestling games.
Yes.
Maybe try and get Ukes back.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And then try and restart from there and go back and play the older games and see what made them fun.
Yes, I have to agree with that.
Like the comprehensive story modes, the creator characters, they were all great things in those games.
Absolutely.
Creating a wrestler and then being able to create their intro.
Yes.
Was just brilliant. I loved every minute of that because it was like the most obscure things that you could do with it.
Yeah, you could even design the cards that the audience were, holding up.
Yeah,
and stuff.
They were great.
Yeah, absolutely. Tattoos, intro music, even to the point where a lot of the names the announcer, could announce.
Yeah, Yeah, they
Yeah.
do actually announce them properly, which is really fun.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I just love that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah.
bring that back for sure.
Yeah.
Just make a
Uh,
good, solid wrestling game.
I'm going to be controversial here
Sure.
and say that I think Ukes should go and work on it.
Yeah. That. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
We've come to the right answer here.
Yeah.
Scrap WWE
Yeah.
and go on to AEW for Ukes.
Yep.
That's
I
it.
agree.
We're done here, guys.
Done. Whoop. Okay. Next question.
Oh, excuse me. So, I'm trying to think which question we should go to next. That would be it because we're actually in that period at the moment.
Yes.
As usual, it is a fairly packed Q3 and Q4 period. What games do you think will be the sales casualties this year?
Ooh. He zigged when I thought he was going to zag.
Yeah,
Um.
yeah,
Sheesh. See, that is difficult because when you come out with such like amazing games, and a
yep,
game that would normally be a top seller may not make as much as it would because
yep,
these other games are out. It's kind of the same thing with movies as well.
yeah. Admittedly, I thought that The Outer Worlds was probably going to be a bit of a failure in terms of sales, but the critical reception that it has got on Twitter is probably not proven me right.
I did not think that. But to be fair, what I was mostly surprised about and probably is in their favor is
Yeah,
it's a 40 quid game.
yeah,
40-pound
agreed.
game. For
Wow, you
Americans.
really are British now. You've abandoned your American
I
heritage.
have. Actually, I think it's like saying $40. So I kind of just.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
It's kind of
Canadians
the
like
same.
bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, they've come in with a reasonably priced game.
yep,
That is, I mean, there's some small bugs. There are some small bugs, but they're not game breaking. They're not game ending. And they're just more little minor.
it wouldn't really be an Obsidian or Bethesda style game without a couple of bugs.
It's true. I do love you guys at Obsidian very much, but yeah, there's always a few bugs.
Look,
But
it's part of the charm,
it
okay?
is. It is. It really is. And so as far as casualties go, God, I can't even. We're in
There's a couple of games coming out the back end of this year.
yeah.
I do wonder about. I don't think Death Stranding is gonna fail in terms of sales.
I don't think it can fail. As
No,
far as
it's got
sales
too
go,
big of a name. It's got too big of a name
it's
associated
too
with
big
it.
to
So
fail. Yeah, yeah. No, I don't think it would fail. Even if it comes out as the worst game ever created, the first day sales are probably going to break records.
I think the pre-order numbers alone on
Oh, yeah.
probably
Yeah,
prove
yeah.
that. But
Absolutely.
I mean, the embargo is up actually on the 1st of November, so I think that will be pretty prevalent to see.
Yeah.
If the game doesn't review very well, then I wonder how many get
Like,
rid of their pre-orders.
well, like I know that it's under embargo,
Yep.
but even knowing that, so many people are like, thank you for making such a beautiful game.
Yeah.
Kind of leads me to think, it's probably quite good.
Oh, it's probably going to succeed no
Yeah.
matter what.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Having Hideo Kojima involved alone is
Mhm.
just enough reason for people to pick that game up.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
I
absolutely.
mean, can't really think what was going to fail too much.
No, because Cyberpunk's gonna come out. It's gonna definitely
Yep.
again successful.
I mean, Last of Us Part 2 would have come out in Q4, but it's not. It's
True.
been moved beyond
That's true.
Q4 now.
Yeah.
So, and I have to clarify here that the way that we talk about queues in terms of
Oh,
quarters is
yeah. Good point.
it's done. It is done by the fiscal year.
Mm-hmm. That's
So
right.
Q1 is usually at the start of April. and
Yeah.
goes right through till March. So
Mm-hmm.
that will include games that are involved in 2020 as well.
Yes, that's
So
right.
I mean, Last of Us Part 2 has moved from that Q4
Mm-hmm.
over to like basically Q1 of 2020. But I don't know really. I mean, I've been quite surprised about quite a lot of games that I thought were going to fail that have ended up sailing really well. Um,
Yeah.
Fallout 76, its subscription model is going to fail. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. That's what we can say.
Right. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I'm sorry I can't answer this question too well, to be
Yeah,
honest with you.
I'm gonna be
I'm
honest.
blanking.
I because all of the games that are coming out that I am aware of, so fully acknowledging that there's so much more that I'm not aware of.
Yeah,
They're all big name releases and titles,
they are. Yeah.
and I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna back down and say I don't know of any that we're going to lose that
No.
we wouldn't have lost anyway. God, does that make sense?
It kind of does.
It
I know
kind
what
of,
you mean.
yeah, exactly.
I do. I do know what you mean.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean,
Rest assured, Call of Duty Modern Warfare is not going to be one of them.
yes, that was actually my exact thing I was about to say. Was that Call of Duty also is set to make its usual
Yeah,
numbers.
the usual. Yeah, the
Yeah,
usual $1 billion.
yeah, yeah. Ugh,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's normal.
yeah. It
Right.
is. It is.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine. But we've got an interesting last question from Thomas. Once
Sure.
again, thank you. Um, this one is about Nintendo actually, which I'm quite
Oh,
interested about.
yeah, absolutely.
So, what do you think Nintendo's next big idea will be in terms of hardware? They dropped out of the power race a long time ago, so it will be
Yes.
interesting to speculate what innovations they move to next.
Oof, that is good.
It is a good question because you cannot ever predict anything Nintendo are
No,
ever doing.
no, you cannot. And I'm definitely here to say, yeah, all of the, the conventions, everything they've ever, revealed, all of their stuff. I never
Yeah,
was like, oh, this is what they're going to do. I didn't know they were going to be, better at the motion, stuff than Microsoft was when Microsoft had, their God, what was the
the
freaking Xbox
Connect.
thing? Connect. Thank you. Can't believe I forgot that. That was a terrible name
Well,
anyway.
look, everyone forgets about Connect because it was
God.
a piece of trash.
And that's crazy because Microsoft was so known and is still sort of known for being so innovative on that sort of
Yeah,
technology.
of course.
And in
But
fact, mm-hmm.
but to be fair, Nintendo had actually looked into motion controls as far back as the NES.
Oh yeah, yeah. Now that is very true. That is very true. Yeah, I mean, you
Yeah,
can even see
they,
that in some of the hardware that was with the NES. Like just some of
yeah,
the peripherals and stuff.
yeah, of course.
Even the
And I
third
mean,
party peripherals.
they even preface the old virtual reality and stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
with the Virtual Boy to the
Yes.
point where they went back with the 3DS and had the stereoscopic 3D.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
Absolutely.
they try to do something back in the day and then they bring it forward a few years later
Yes.
and actually manage to perfect it.
Yep.
Right?
I kind of
So,
like that.
so the thing is that obviously the Wii U we now know
Mm-hmm.
was the precursor to the Switch,
Right.
where they were testing out this two-screen gaming sort of
Mm-hmm.
principle, and
Yeah.
it didn't work with the Wii U, but it worked with the Switch.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
I'm gonna make a suggestion here as
Sure.
to one of the things that I think, because they've been very prevalent with online now
Mm-hmm.
on the Switch. I think
Yes.
they're gonna rest on an online only console.
Oh wow. That
They're
they
gonna they're
would
gonna take it back to being a home console, but it will be an always online DRM box basically, but
right.
not in the same way that Microsoft wanted with the Xbox One.
I was gonna say, yeah, they would have had to have learned from the previous issues that
Yes.
the other companies had. But yeah, that would they would be the ones to be able to do that. That people would be able to take that on board.
Yeah, because you only have to look at games like Splatoon that are online
Mhm.
only, apart from
Exactly. Yeah.
the single player content to it.
Yeah.
Where Mario Kart 8 has got a very quite robust online mode
Mhm.
to it.
Yeah.
Um, you look at the games that were coming out on the Wii, like Smash Brothers Brawl, and
Oh yeah.
they handled like absolute trash online. But then you
Yes.
look at Mario Kart Wii, that had one of the best online
Mhm.
systems there, and played like a dream. And
Absolutely.
yet Mario Kart has always had really good online to it, even on the DS.
Mhm. Oh
So
yeah, that's very true.
they're starting to understand that online is a huge thing for people now, and that's why I think they're probably going to weigh
Mhm.
quite heavily on there. It's not going to be a massive innovation in terms of hardware for them,
Right.
but it is something that Nintendo fans won't expect them to be very on the forefront about.
Right.
So I think that's probably where they're going to include like things that you get on PSN and Xbox Live, where you get friends lists and messaging, all that sort of thing.
Right. Yeah, that's I could see that. That's a logical leap forward. Um,
Yeah.
I guess my sort of prediction.
Yeah.
It's not very creative.
But
um,
go for it.
yeah, I think that it will be kind of more VR. But
Ooh,
yeah,
that that does make sense considering the Toy-Con VR.
yes, yes, exactly.
And it
Um,
would bring back the Virtual Boy in some respect as
it
well.
it really would. Because it is like you say, if you kind of just use context clues and you look at Nintendo, from the NES to now, you
Yeah,
can kind of chart what they're going to do in a way.
absolutely.
I guess it's more hindsight actually than anything. Uh,
Yeah,
you know,
agreed. Hindsight is a really great thing, and that's why we're able to see these sorts of things. But
yeah.
when the Switch was first announced, I'd never once picked up on the fact that it was something that was very similar to the Wii U.
See, that's funny. Um, when the Switch was first announced, I had I was angry.
Of course you were, because
Yeah,
a lot of Nintendo fans were angry at that time.
I was very angry, and I was like, they've just repackaged the Wii U. Those the Joy Cons are gonna break as soon as it'll never work. No one wants this. No one. This is terrible. I was
Yeah,
wrong, but actually, to be fair, we've said this before, but it's very true. Nintendo blew everyone away with the games library,
absolutely.
not the
They
hardware
they
this time.
they never push the boundaries massively when it comes to hardware, and
Right?
I think they've realized that now,
Yeah.
because I find it massively funny that everyone talks about the GameCube being a very underpowered console.
Yes, that's true.
Wrong.
Yep. Yep.
It,
Yep.
out of all three of those consoles of the generation, it was actually the most powerful.
It was incredible, and if you ever play, I've just blanked out. It's getting late in the day.
Yeah,
What is his dadgum movie? Vin Diesel's movie. Um,
Chronicles of Riddick.
yes, Chronicles of Riddick. That was on the GameCube, right?
Yeah, that was
Okay.
GameCube, PS2, and Xbox.
Yes. Okay. So that is exactly the game I'm thinking of. That is an
Yeah.
amazing game. It pushed the boundaries of the hardware of that machine, and it
Yep.
was amazing. I have not gone back to it. I need to go back to it, but I just remember being absolutely blown away by it and going, okay, this, because I had played Mortal Kombat, the one that was on there, and it was terrible. I hated it.
It was.
It was awful. But then, Riddick came out, and it was like, okay, I can get behind this. And then I think Riddick came out like right at the end of the GameCube's life.
I think it did, yeah.
Yeah. And it was like, no, but this whole time they could have been putting out games like this. But
Yeah.
so yeah,
That's the thing, though,
it
is
was
that
a
the thing is they usually know how to develop for the console that they're working on right at the very end of its life
Yes.
cycle, because they've had so many years of actually working on it. They know how to get around some of the really weird quirks it has to do with design. I mean,
Yes.
we all know that the PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 are very notoriously hard to develop for.
Yes, that's right.
But
Very
you
much.
had amazing games that, especially like Naughty Dog, were creating, like The Last of Us on the PS3, that looks
Oh,
utterly
yeah.
gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
And that was sort of around about the last sort of couple of years of the
It
of the
was.
PS3's life cycle.
Yes.
And it's just, you sort of, it's like hindsight. You get a lot more what towards the later part of the year, the
Yeah.
later parts of the generation. You know how to handle them. You know what to do with them. So when the Switch and the Xbox One and the PS4 are due to come out, that's why we're starting to see games like Red Dead 2 and Last of Us Part 2 that are taking up 2 discs on
Yeah.
a PS4,
Yeah.
which are massive Blu-ray discs with huge amounts of
Yes.
data on them. But
Yes.
this is why, because they are working with the quirks of the system, but they are also maximizing the serious amount of performance that they can get out of them.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I think the only thing that we're really going to see from Nintendo is that they're going to still stay away from hardware innovation in the power race.
Yeah.
They're just going to constantly evolve the way that they play. You
Yeah,
know,
it's like a
so
Pokemon.
exactly. You look at the Wii, and it was all about motion controls. The Wii U was all about this split
Yes.
screen sort of experience. The DS was the dual screens, and um, the 3DS obviously was the stereoscopic 3D, and
Yes.
the Switch is being able to take huge console games on the go.
Yeah.
So
See,
I'm not too sure where else they can go with this.
yeah. And we're just about to wrap up, but you really just kind of brought a thing to mind. But when you said like the stereoscopic with the 3DS,
Yeah.
that I think that's it. I do think there's going to be a VR element, but not the way we know it now. Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. I think
Could it
there's.
could it be glasses or goggleless VR?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking so because we've already seen in Japan that they're doing things like that. Not specifically
Yeah.
Nintendo, but
No.
they're doing
They
some
have
light.
got wireless headsets, haven't they?
Yes, exactly, and they're doing some things with light and
Yeah.
bending light and all that kind of stuff. That once
Yeah.
the cost comes down and the building of it becomes
Yeah.
easier.
Of
Yeah,
course.
I'm gonna say that's my prediction. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's it. Ray tracing confirmed on the next Nintendo console.
There you go. You heard it here
No,
first.
no, I'm gonna put an obscure one out there.
Sure.
I don't know why. Full body motion suits.
Hey, I'm for it.
Can't imagine that if you
Uh,
look like a motion
I
capture
was gonna
person
say a
playing a
mocap.
Nintendo game.
Yes. Oh my gosh. To be fair, I
That
would
would
do that.
that actually would be cool.
Yeah.
Why do I want this now?
Oh my gosh. There's like, I saw it. I don't know. I think it might be in California, but there's a place that does like this whole VR setup where you've got the helmet on, but you do wear like a jumpsuit or something, and then they've got furniture in place. Well, I say furniture, but like boxes and stuff in place where in the game you would be bumping up against things. I want to do that so bad.
That does sound pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we want to thank everyone for joining us again this week. It's always wonderful if you stop by and download. And we always love chatting. And
As you can probably tell.
Yeah, exactly. And you can always find us Rapid Reviews, which is at our website, which is www.rapidreviewsuk.com. And we are found on Twitter at Rapid Reviews UK. And where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Pete Beckett1. And also just need to put out there the Rapid Review Facebook page as well.
Yes.
Rapid Reviews UK.
I always forget about Facebook.
It's It's fine. I think the vast majority of people have forgotten about Facebook now.
Yeah, it's a no man's land. It's the outer
That,
wild.
yeah. Well, that is until Mark Zuckerberg absolutely pwns Ocasio-Cortez.
We'll save that for our rapid political reviews
Yeah.
podcast.
Please check out our new podcast at Political Reviews UK. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't want politics to infect our video games.
That's one thing that I do want to say. We've said it before, but with us at Rapid Reviews, we love video games. We have a passion for video games, and with video games, there's no division. Everyone plays them, and we just love that. And if you're passionate about games, we love for you to just join us every week. And we're trying to do Mondays to start your week off great.
Of course.
And if for some reason you want to follow me,
I was just about to ask that actually. Where can I find you?
Yes, I am on Twitter at Kiley to Greet, which is KILEYTEHGREET. I tweet about everything. There's no limits with me. So always feel free. I love interacting with people. You'll see that all the time. I talk about anything and everything. And love doing it. I am on Facebook, but again, as we said, nobody goes on Facebook. But if you
Boomer platform.
Yeah, if you want to join me, I am Kylie Wilde, WILDE, on Facebook.
Good.
And I think that's gonna do us for this week.
That will.
All right.
We had the great questions. We had some good topics, and it's been a fun one this week. So
yeah, it really has. And also, thank you to Pete for joining us while he's still recovering.
Time to go back to bed.
Yeah.
Dose myself up with more paracetamol.
Yes, go do that, even though you have to now edit. But
look, this is torture. To be honest, I want words with my my union leader.
with our overlord.
No, I meant the union.
Oh, right. I'm an American. We don't have unions.
Yeah, we have a workforce union here.
Yes. It's actually a very good thing. But that's again for our political cast.
Yeah, one day that might happen.
Hey, you never know. But anyway, thank you for stopping by and joining us. Pete's gonna go rest and feel better, and we will see you next Monday. Bye.
We will indeed. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.